Okay, so I'm starting this session with Miriam, and she's got discomfort in her body due to an accident. So I'm going to bring the energies in and see where they take us, really. So she's listening to a meditation I've just sent to her, and I'm listening to the same one that's in the background, so that we're at exactly the same place. I'm just opening up my channel here. So again, my attention's not on Miriam at the moment. It's just a case of just bringing the energy in here. Quite strong as well for this. And when this part stops, the energy will just stop, and then we'll go on to Miriam's. Yeah. A little bit of light language coming through there. Okay. I'm just sending my intention upwards. And my hands are just reacting to my intention. So I'm not moving my hands, they're moving according to the energy that's coming through. And as mentioned in previous sessions, yawning is clearing energy, clearing my energy, clearing her as well. Moving to that. And I'm just waiting. I'm aware of energies kind of scanning her body now. And then I'll get a push. It's so strange. My body gets pushed forward. So that means for me to engage at some level. I'm kind of waiting. Waiting for Mary to relax a little bit more as well. Sense that she's just right. So I'm just moving down her body now. It's a lot of energy. And this is energy that's kind of, it feels like static. So initially it's like kind of working with the whole body. There's nothing specific at the moment, just clearing this energy from a field. It's very difficult for a lot of people to understand when people go through an accident or some really hard health issue. You know, what is the purpose of it? You know, so I know Bashar always says, look at the positive things that you've learned that you would never have learned. There's always things that you'd learn in this situation, but suffering is suffering, and it's, you know, sometimes being human, it's hard to detach from, you know, why do I deserve this? Why is this happening to me? And how can I move forward? Yeah, moving to the next phase now. So we're clearing the first bit. I always find the music's really good because I write it myself. It connects me to myself as well as the clients. Just opening up that field now. So you notice if my hands are moving quite quickly, that's light language that's been brought in, or light codes. I'm just going to ask Miriam's higher self if I can work with her. That's kind of a procedure that is always advised. Okay. Right. So moving down the top of her head. So this is now taken to somewhere specific. This is the sacral or the solar plexus? Sacral. Yeah, so this is the stomach area. And most of the time I've got my eyes closed. You know, sometimes the client can be vibrating. you know, like a fish out of water, really, as the energy runs through them. Sometimes it's just very subtle. Sometimes they don't move at all. Uh, it's not my goal to make people shake. But if that's something that happens, then it's not unpleasant. But yeah, we're just still working on the stomach area. So as I'm focusing, the energy is moving in, and as long as my hands are vibrating, that means things are happening, things that need changing are clearing. And I always turn the mic off, unless I'm doing one where I'm not actually got the music on. Sometimes that happens. We'll just go straight into it. The last thing I want to be doing is yawning and putting people out of their deep state. Right, there you go. Okay. So, moving from the top of the head down the body, and then the back, the back of the neck. So I can still do this while I'm talking. So I teach this to people so they can learn it and they can activate in it. I don't guarantee that they will be doing exactly the way I am doing it, but they will feel energies. They will learn about the metaphysical side of things and raise their frequency and consciousness. And started doing that a few years ago, but now I've just started to work fully online with people. And the next course I'm doing is in January, and it's really cool because I can feel the energies, they can feel the energies, and we're learning content each week. So it's really beneficial for people. Plus they get healing sessions as well, so it helps them move their energies and clear out their old emotions as well. Because of the way I work, I decided on getting a good head mic because, I don't want to be moving microphones and everything else. It's essential to just have my hands free. Okay, so just moving down the back, moving down the front. Now the energy is clear. Okay, so as I'm moving down, the energy is clear. But that doesn't mean that it's all clear. It just means that phase of what I'm doing is complete. And again, I'm not searching for particular issues or anything else. I'm just staying in a place of nothingness, trying to be not thinking about anything particular apart from the intention of being here to be a conduit for healing, really. And then I'll get the information through where it needs to focus. What's that? So the energy's coming in through me at the moment. Right, so that felt like a bit of instructions. Right, so I'm seeing the spine. And again, I don't know anything about Miriam's medical background, and I don't really wish to know it. That's her personal thing, but I'm seeing the spine like this, kind of out of alignment. Oh. I've just got the message stop talking for a minute, so I'll need to put... Okay. So this is feels like a nice energy, but it's quite strong, and it almost feels like I'm just working on the spine, putting padding on either side of it. At the base of the spine. Yeah. All I'm seeing is just the base of the spine, actually, just up from the base of the spine, not right at the bottom, just up a few vertebrae, six vertebrae upwards. Sa, ja to kustene me tistue ewa. I'm just seeing alignment. The word I keep seeing in front of me there. Remember, we're working on the non-physical. These are higher frequencies, and the non-physical energies manifest into the physical eventually. Some people feel the benefit straight away. They go, "Oh, I feel that it's gone," which is great. And other times, it's like a sponge with the water on the top. It just soaks through gradually as it moves through the frequencies. Now, see my hands doing this. It's like bringing energy up the spine. I mean, people in a really deep state, a really deep trance, or a really deep altered state of consciousness, I'd rather like to say, is that they're bringing their own energies into alignment as well. So it's kind of like a double whammy, We're bringing this coherent energy into their energy field, and they're also aligning with that as well, and they feel it. And that also helps because their belief systems start to release, preconceived ideas about healing and what it needs to hold on to. It's a collaboration, Always is ariatoste. Yes. Yes, there's agreement there. Sa. I don't know what sa means. I've been doing it ever since I've been doing energy. Sa. It feels like it's I don't know. Almost like so be it kind of thing. So and our other hand's starting to move now. We're just bringing this into alignment. I'm just working on the spine. So now going back to the top of the head. Now, so we're at the top of the head now. As energy moves or things are altered in one area of the body or aligned in one area of the body or old information removed, then you work on other parts of the body. So I'm having difficulty speaking because I'm focusing on two things at once, and as a man, that's really hard to do. So all on the top of the head, like where the third eye is, and but I don't feel like it is the third eye. It's not that. It's just the energy here around. It almost feels like a brace around a head, like a constraint. That's it. And it doesn't mean that it's an actual constraint. It means that it's showing me as that's how I feel. It's a metaphor for the fact that it's like not thinking freely. Old energy. One of my students has just done a first distant healing, and she set up a healing place in a house as if she was going to do it with a client turning up. And that's initially how I started as well. And she was amazed to say, when I had my eyes closed, it was like they were there. They were in front of me. even though they were miles away. I said, that's it. That's quantum entanglement. And so yeah, distant healing does work, and I'm getting the same energies as what I would do if Miriam here was in front of me. I do actually like working with people in person, but I don't fancy going all the way to America to do a session. So that's somebody just signing that bit off there. So now I'm visualizing her laying down, and her head is here, her feet are here. So yeah, I can see this, her head is here and her feet are down there. Where are we now? Just where the stomach is, the actual stomach, just a little bit up from the solar plexus. It doesn't always have to be in the chakra points, it's just where the blockages are. Now it's just moving up to the heart now, just below the heart. So now it's moving from the heart. Where are we going now? Back up to the head a bit. And when my arm aches like that, it's really old, tired energy. So it's a good sign. So this feels a lot like older energy now. It's not light energy, it feels like heavy energy. It's a little bit harder to work with. It just feels like it's stuck, you know. Having a breather. What's interesting is this is a 30-minute session, but what's interesting, you could have an hour session or, you know, a 40-minute session, and the energy kind of knows what it has got to do within that time. So it's usually a few minutes just before you end that the energy drops. Not always. Sometimes he goes, oh, we need to do a little bit more here, but I don't mind, you know. However long it takes, that's how long you're here for, innit? Yes. So we'll back up the head. It's a slightly different energy now. It feels a lot lighter. Does it just move into the field? That's it. Look, just move in. It just moves it. I used to be really sort of concerned when I first started that people don't believe what it is, and they go, oh, look at that, it's crazy. But you know, after a while, it doesn't matter, because there's so many more people that have benefited from what I do than those that are, you know, doubtful about it. And that's just where they're at. You know, that's where people are at. It's and it's fine if they don't believe it, but I'd say first, just, you know, try it. But also, not all energy healers are the same either. You know, you might go to, if you go to one energy healer and have a bad experience, or that was rubbish, don't judge everyone else by that standard. It's like going to a mechanic and getting your car, trying to get your car fixed. They don't do a good job and go, I'm never going to go to another mechanic in my life. But, you know, your car needs fixing. So now I'm just kind of just visualizing like a hologram of a body again. I'm going to scan down from the head. Right, that's clear there, down the back. So imagine her standing up, looking that way. Okay. That's clear. And I imagine her looking towards me. Okay. So, energy is a lot different now. Calmer. So let's say neck. Now, I know she mentioned something about a neck, but so when they say neck, I'm just going to scan where the neck is, and if my body reacts, then obviously that's. I know it's not my intellect that's doing it; it's reacting because I've got the information from somewhere else. So that's the back of her head, moving down to her neck. Right. So neck on which side, left or right? That's the left. That's the right. So as I go around the right of her neck. Oh, excuse me. Sometimes you burp as well. Oh. Now, oh god, my stomach's tightening up now. So that means a lot more energy is coming in. It feels like it's really kind of stuck. Oh, my jaw's going. Well, I don't take on the pain or the discomfort, but sometimes my body will react. Oh. Just there, it's like there. Sometimes I wish I had a medical background. C2. So now, like, I'm seeing a head that way, and I'm working in at an angle. Oh, go around the neck again. That's clear. All right. Again, I'm not saying it's healed. I'm just saying that the energy that my part of what I need to do at this particular point in time has come to an end in regards to that section there. So again, scan down the front of the body. And also, I use my hands because it's easier. It feels more accurate. As I scan down, it'll pick up energies, but I can also do it with intent, and you can put your hands together like this. It just means you have to be really, really more focused. So at the moment, I'll just do this, and then my hands will just automatically pick up where it needs to be. But when you do it with the intent, it's a little bit more concentration. Just going down the body. That feels a lot clearer. That feels a lot clearer. Should feel at the least lighter, because this energy's kind of been a field bumping up against her. Right, so now this is, where's this? Back of the heart. It's the feeling of not moving forward as well. Moving. When physical problems happen, they're creating energy, and that's creating problems, energy within our mind, our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions. And them feelings, emotions, and energy in your body's got to go somewhere. And if you're not doing this kind of work, and you're not doing, work to get rid of this energy within those frequencies, then it kind of stays it there for a while. Get a star here. It collects. And that's kind of what we feel. So although we feel the physical discomfort, we're also feeling the energy coming back into our system.
Everything feels really slowed down.
Good. How do you feel?
almost a little bit disoriented because I do feel like in my mind during the session, things were moving quick and lots, but as my eyes are open and I'm present to this tangible world, everything feels different. And there's a part of me that feels anxious because it's different. Mm. It's like, it's weird. It's like the reality in front of me, things have slowed down. So my awareness of it being slower causes me to feel a little anxious inside.
But which part of you is feeling anxious? Because we have these belief systems that have their own energy, their own semi-intelligence, and they kind of want to hang on to things as well sometimes. So they'll, that information will come through saying, oh, well, maybe it's this, maybe I'm anxious, maybe it's, and it's just about surrendering to the process and going, it's okay. If you're anxious, that's fine. I've got this.
Right? Yeah, since the accident, I've noticed my brain, there's a lot of hypervigilance that goes on to protect and to be super sensitive. And thus, even the nerves are like raw to like temperature change and often wanting to have like something wrapped around me, especially my heart, as a type of even physical protection. So I feel like that's part of what's going on, is that part is checking to make sure, am I okay? Am I safe?
Yeah, I understand that.
And I did have some emotional release during the session. There's a part of me that keeps feeling responsible for this accident and all that it's challenged my life, my body, and those around me. And it's a type of guilt that keeps coming up to say, I'm sorry. Sorry I didn't find a better way to respond or not end up in that. So that came up and it's still present now.
I was watching the actor. His name's Renner. He's one of the Avengers. He's acting in the Avengers. And a year ago, a snowplow ran over him, and he was literally at death's door. And he's learnt to walk again, and he's learnt to bring himself back, and he's got support from his family and everything else. But he was saying, he said, I could focus on the accident and how guilty I feel because it was my fault, the pain I put my family through, or I can focus on the fact that how it's brought so much love into my life and maybe really appreciate things in a lot different aspects. And and he's kind of, even though his body was really badly injured and he's determined to move forward, he said the real message for him, it's about love. It's about loving himself and about really appreciating himself and, moving forward and focusing on all the positive things, even though people would look at it as a negative. What possible positive things could he have got from it? And for him, it was more about, he's got more connection, he's got more understanding, he's got more gratitude. And it was fascinating to watch him go through that. And he says, but it could easily have just gone, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, and checked out. But he chose not to. It's
that comes up a lot too. It's like you can go to the depths of even how I see all the suffering of all of humanity from this lens, and the game of it all, and frustration that we've been playing this game for a long time, and I know it's not required. So being very connected to my spirit, like you talked about in the meditation, that sense of true home that knows that all is possible and well, all is well. And that this is no longer required. I keep hearing it. I even heard right after the accident, it was a distractor energy. So yes, I can work with the mind in the ways that you were describing, and I've gone in and out of that space. And I also know even soul contracts are not always written from the highest place. And we can shift, like you were talking about, people you or your highest self wanted to meet, interact with. And so I kept asking for that to happen in a way that brings joy and well-being to myself and others, because there's many ways of going about these connections and there's webs and things. So it's interesting. I've seen a lot around this. But I do find that any time in this life that I've had a physical hurt, that maybe I fell down, and not that I did any of it on purpose in this, but I could see certainly retrospectively how I could have avoided, or listened to that little voice that said, well, don't do that, or this is too much, or whatever. So that's the place that's having difficulty, not almost like more deeply reinforced, because I can see as I go forward, I have a very strong spirit and this feisty almost, and it's determined to do so much and be so much. And so even when I would go to cross the street and I would go too late, put myself at risk because I felt like I can, and it'll be okay. And yet the physical body and the brain weren't quite there. And so I almost got hit just trying to cross the street because I can't drive right now. And noticing like this lizard was on my path, and I stopped because I knew it was telling me, really pay attention to this. Like, no need to push through or force, or there's a flow, there's an ease available. And so I feel like I'm going deeper to really reinforce that for the part of me. And that's what I prayed during this session. I knew it was about an alignment on all levels, the parts of me that are big and know and can, and the parts of me that are embracing the human dance and the inner child and might be afraid or connected to lineage stuff. And so it all can come together in its highest, best way. To act from wholeness. And when the meditation asks you to focus on the heart, that's one of the messages that came through. We hear it, but to feel it even when it doesn't seem tangibly true, and that I am whole. I am whole. I am complete. So I did see my lineage like dancing and breaking through. I knew that my journey is very connected to the well-being of all that is. And as I go to intend or decree or any way go forward, I can tell that I'm always wanting, if you will, to bring the collective with me. Like, okay, this is for all. May it be so for all. And then I would say, okay, I let go. So I recognize not everyone may be ready for this right now, or as it serves their best. And I can still go forward, and that still is a contribution to when it is time, versus, so it's interesting. There's a very strong tether and connection to, even in this dance of healing from the accident stuff, the well-being of all that is. And then, of course, you can see it as well, right? Like, okay, it's well now, even though we have these physical judgments of what well-being looks like. But go ahead.
So you mentioned about alignment there, and as I was working, you'll see on the recording, alignment, and then also when I work in Back of Heart, it was about, and I mentioned about the fact that it's about moving forward. Felt like you've not been able to move forward. So yeah. It's this, and these are like energy beliefs that are stuck there, and it's like, okay, so you release them, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, imagine you were your higher self and you chose, which I believe you do. Oh, well, this is, I want to incarnate as Miriam and I want to go through this and go through that. You may not see what that whole story is yet. You're still trying to figure it out. But it might be, you know, later on you might go, actually, look at what I learned from that, and look at someone else who's gone through something similar. How can I teach them? It could be that you're an example to help other people. But in the process of doing that, you know, in the process of our healing ourselves, we start to learn all these different things about that we wouldn't normally, because we're too busy doing things. And, you know, a lot of physical things tend to bring us back into the moment to reevaluate what it is that is important, what it is I am spending my time on, you know, how is growth happening here. And so it's but suffering is suffering, and when you're in it, it's hard to, sometimes a challenge to see the bigger picture. And that's what I like about having this work and having this understanding of how the system works, how life works, and why we're here. Because whatever comes your way, you can always kind of go, okay, well, I can't see what's happening now, but I know there's a higher perspective here. I know there's some reason behind this, and I'm just going to do my best in the present day, in the present moment, and see how it all pans out and see what the connections are. Sometimes we're flowing, and other times we feel like we're stuck, but we're always changing. It's always happening. It's just that process of our mind, our ego gets involved and goes, this is not working. This is not right. This is not what I want. I'm fearful. This is going to cause, you know, and all that we have to deal with. And eventually we start to iron those wrinkles out and start going, okay, actually, you know what? We're here for a short trip, you know, and whatever them experiences are, I embrace them as best I possibly can. And whatever comes down the line, I'll embrace whatever I can. And, you know, I was watching that actor last night, and I was watching a film with him in, and I thought this was 2 years before his major accident. And like, he had no idea that was coming. Nobody had any idea that was coming, and yet it happened, and he's grown tremendously in that, and he saw an outpouring of love from so many people that love him and support him. Even he would never have felt that if he had never gone through that. And he found other aspects about himself as well that thinks, oh, actually I'm more than I thought I was. I'm more determined than I thought I was. So yeah, it's there is a bigger picture. And, you know, the sooner that happens, people get that perspective and go, okay, all right, well, that's what happened there. So what is it that I've got from that? And how can I use that experience in the most positive way I can, even though I've got these challenges, and even though I'm sometimes in a lot of pain? Yeah, there's always room for growth and recognition of what the purpose is. But like I say, in the moment, we don't always get it. And, you know, and it's not about comparing your suffering to someone else's, because, you know, people, suffering is suffering. And if people are unhappy, or people are miserable, and, you know, some people quit because they've got a bad business deal and they end their life. And other people would never do that. Some people in continuous pain, and they do it that way. And some people go through incredible tests, and they still come out the other end and as an inspiration. So it's all down to the individual. It's all down to our own personal choice. You know, it's not, and it's your life, it's your decision, and it's your way of recognizing what is important to you at this moment. And what I can say is just noticing your own personal growth and your own personal strength, getting through these challenges, because it will change. It does change, you know, and there's only one way forward, really. You know, there's no, but yeah, when that ego comes in, it kind of just takes over the whole thing, going, you know, when I went through something really bad, it was poor me. I went into, for me, I went into victim. I went, poor me. Why is it up to me? I've always been a nice person. And I just, at that point in my life, just before my awakening, it was my awakening, I wanted to end it all. I was in that much pain, emotional, physical, you know, pain. Just wanted to quit. And I went, oh, I understand now why people want to get out of this sometimes. Because it's like, it's not fun. It's not fun. Yep. But, you know, as Tom Campbell said to me, you had to own it. And I had to own it. I had to go, this is my stuff. This is my ego. This is my pain, and you know, if I can create this in my life, then I can create other stuff in my life. But I would say for you, just being present, being in the moment, and you know, being aware of as many gratitude in some ways, even though it's hard to move into that sometimes, but try and find as much gratitude in the day as possible. You know, just be thankful that, okay, God, you know, I do it myself. It's like, oh, well, I'm not here, but I'm so glad I'm warm. I'm so glad I'm not getting bombs dropped on me. I'm so glad, you know, there's always, I can breathe, and there's always something to shift. And it's not about saying, well, actually, you know, what have I got to be grateful for? Or, you know, ignoring the pain. It's just a frequency. You're creating that frequency of, okay, well, at least for a few minutes, I'm going to just go into a place of gratitude. And it's about shifting that energy in whatever way that is, even if for a few minutes a day. So yeah, it's but yeah, it's a challenge when these things, and they usually happen out of nowhere on a Tuesday afternoon at 4:00. I didn't expect that, and that's the game changer. Okay, what do I need to do now? So yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, we try and have control of our lives, but you never have control. You just have the ability to adapt and to learn more from each thing that happens, really. Yeah, no one's safe from challenges. And yeah, so the energy, I picked up energy around the stomach, I picked up energy around the lower back, and also on the neck. But yeah, I nothing down by the feet, which for whatever reason that wasn't drawn to me. It was mainly this, and also I felt like there was a band around your head as well. It felt like a band, but that just felt like it was a constrained thought. That's kind of how it was showing me that way. Yeah. How you feeling?
Did anything else come up around the moving forward piece? Because I actually do practice the gratitude a lot, and then there's always opportunity for more of that, for sure. Especially when, like you said, the ego steps in with different needs or judgments.
What I've learned from this is sometimes there's there's packets of information. I call them packets of information. How I see them. There's energies, and they are like have a belief in them. So, for instance, I can't move forward. I can't move forward. That's a belief. That's, you know, the rest of you might be thinking that, okay, I'm moving forward, but there's still this part. So that is what I'm drawn to. So sort of dissolving or changing that energy within that belief system there, let's go with that belief. So it's like energies have their own kind of information and energy field within them. So sometimes it's beliefs that are in your body or in your field that need to be kind of recalibrated. And you may find that, oh, actually, now I can move forward because there's this part of you that's been going, I can't move forward, a belief, you see. So that's what I've noticed with things. When people sometimes have attachments, the attachment will express itself as well. It'll say, you know, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this, I'm not going. And it was like, and you work with that, and then that goes, and suddenly they feel different again. So what I'm finding is that these pockets of energy have an intention behind them. They have a reason for that. And so by dealing with that, it seems to let things flow a lot better.
Yes.
So it's like taking the brakes off. It's like pedaling. I'm pedaling, I'm going forward, but there's a little part of you that's still got the brake on. So you just go, I'll just get rid of that bit there. And actually, I'm still pedaling the same, but I seem to be moving a lot forward, a lot more quicker now. So that's the analogy there, yeah. So
well, I noticed, like I said, I did that meditation that you sent. I didn't realize it was just for the session. I thought I was supposed to do it to prepare. And so when I did it, I did notice some things opening up. And I know when I'm in more of an alignment, because my clarity and that freedom that you're describing, once those pockets of beliefs are opened back up and that energy can free flow again, I can literally feel it physically, energetically, in my clarity, in the ideas, the creative solutions, all of that. So I know that that's all here now. Like, I don't feel that I'm supposed to be in this position to glean more. There's other ways of doing it that allow the joy without necessarily getting ahead, if you will, of the opportunities. So I'm like, I knew this was here all along. And it's as though there's this fog, right? This veil, so that you can't pierce through and access more of you. So I appreciate the moments that I do, experiences that allow some of that, and to be able to stay more in that space. Even in my heart space, or what people call like their authentic self, that we get to taste here, to live that. And when I am living that, it's like bubbling up and over. So there's a nice overflow for others. So that push and force isn't there, but it's just so yeah, it's just freeing that energy up, to be able to run freely up and through the spine, through the whole system.
The energy is tied to beliefs, and the beliefs are connected with, held together by fears. And a lot of these beliefs that you've come into this reality with are at an unconscious level. So this is the opportunity for you to start to, okay, I'm getting fog, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. So that's just almost like a thread. Okay, let me follow that. Let me see if I can follow that. Where's that taking me? What fear is that? What is that trying to keep me safe? So it's an opportunity to go, okay, right, this is where I am, this is what I'm at, and I can feel this joy, I can feel this clarity, I can feel this alignment, but there's times when I don't. So why is it that I don't? What is it that's trying to teach me there? What is the fear? What is the belief? And that energy, when you dig into it, when you understand from your perspective what it is that you came here to learn, what is it that, what patterns are repeating in my life? What is it that I need to learn from this experience? And put that as an inquiry. If you're going to meditation, show me what I need to learn. Show me why I'm feeling stuck. It's beliefs, the energy of beliefs that are in your conscious, but you are expanding. So as your energy is expanding.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, again, blessings as you experience the rest of 2024 and expand out into the new year.
Thank you, and same to you. Onwards and upwards.
All right.
Okay. Take care.